Hi everyone. So, as I was preparing my own children to get ready for online learning, I thought I'd share 5 helpful tips that I wanted to do with my own children this year that I didn't really get to do when we all went into quarantine mode. I was also teaching in March till the end of the year, so trying to get my work done and having my children have some structure at home was really difficult. And so I wanted to better prepare my kids starting out. So I'm going to share with you 5 helpful hints. Tip number 1, make sure they have their own space. It's like going to their classroom. They have their own desk at school where they keep all their belongings and where they do all their learning. So they should have one at home too. They need to have a place that they can call their own, a place where they can go to study, a place where they can keep all their supplies. And my son is going to 3rd grade, and although I pretty much leave my daughter alone, who's going to be a freshman, I want to make sure that my son is doing what he's supposed to be doing. So he's actually in my office as well. So I put him next to me just so I know that what he is doing, and to make sure that I am making sure that he is paying attention, being respectful, and making sure that I hear what the teacher is teaching. So when they're finished and he's doing independent work, I'll be able to help him. Tip number 2, give your children the opportunity to make it feel like their own space. As you can tell, my son is a minimalist, so this is all he wanted there, but I gave him the opportunity to do whatever he wanted to do with it. Something that you can do is you can have them maybe put a name tag if you have younger children, something to make it feel like an office. Sometimes they like that to kind of play. Make sure it's not too distracting, that there aren't too many things that's distracting to them. But it'd be nice to let them keep 1 or 2 things that, helps them to not feel anxious. I know when I'm feeling anxious, I look at a picture of my family. Usually when kids are anxious or uncomfortable, they have their other friends to talk to, or they have the teachers there to talk to. But our little ones now are pretty much alone, just you. But like I said, you're probably gonna be just as busy as they are. So make sure they have plenty of supplies on their table, and they're not getting up asking you for a pencil and asking for crayons. Make sure they have everything you think they would need for school on their desk. So this is a picture of my 3rd grader, and I'm gonna go show you one of my high school. So initially, my daughter and my son were sharing this room, and then eventually when the quarantine hit, we were all in the dining room, which just turned out to be a big old mess. So for the incoming school year, I decided to separate them. This is my daughter's work area. So she has her computer, her blanket, just everything that she needs to be successful going to school. I made sure I put a calendar up there so she knows what is due and when, so there isn't an excuse. I want to try to help her with staying organized. Tip number 3, organization. Make sure they know where to put all their finished work, where their extra paper, notebooks, pencils, crayons, where all that stuff goes, and where to find them. So we're trying to teach them to be self-sufficient. So it might take some practice and a lot of, this is where it's going to be, or let them choose where it's going to be, because hopefully it'll help them to remember where everything is. Tip number 4 is make sure you teach them how to use the computer. I know my kids at a very young age, they knew how to get on the iPad, they knew how to do a lot of that stuff. So our kids can do it. So you're just going to have to show them how to turn it on. When we get more for Cobb, when we get more information on how to log in, make sure they practice logging in, make sure they practice doing Zoom, make sure they are comfortable so they'll be able to do it on their own. Even kindergarten, 1st graders can do it. So it's just repetition, just keep practicing with them how to do the technology portion of online learning. And lastly, tip number 5 is be careful how you react in front of your kids. The more positive you are, the more positive they are going to be. Parents have no idea what their kids come and share with us, teachers or their friends. And when you're upset or negative or feeling that way and the kids see it, that's how they're going to react too. The more excited you are about online learning, the more respectful you are towards the teachers and other parents and things like that, the more they're going to be willing to take this seriously and be successful online learning. I mean, we're all in it together. I know both sides, and my heart goes out to all the teachers out there and all the parents out there and all the kids. But we're gonna get through this. We're resilient. Kids especially, they are so resilient. They can get through anything. But let's just try to make this more of a positive experience. It's something that's going to go down in history books, something we're all going to remember. And I want this to be something my kids remember as kind of like a fun time where they got to learn at home. Although it'd be hard for us as working parents, but they don't need to know that. I just want them to love their teachers and love learning. It's just a different way. Finally, if you have any questions, school related, learning related, doesn't necessarily have to be real estate, feel free to text me, message me, and I can help you the best that I can. So thank you and have a wonderful rest of the week. And to all the parents who've already started online teaching, you can do this. And for those parents, those of us who are going to start next week, we can do this. Okay, so talk to you next time.